wanted to show you guys how to calculate and rent the heroes for the perfect price in order to make sure that you make a lot of money from this system. So the first thing you want to do is go into the Thetan Arena Marketplace and go into your available heroes. Here you will find every single one of your heroes, so you can click on one. For example, let's just use the Big Papa, and you will see that there is a sell button, but in addition there is now also a rent out button. So here you can put the amount of games. The minimum amount of games required to rent is 50, and then you can put the amount of THC that you want to rent your hero for. But before you do any of this right here, the first thing you want to do is, let's just go ahead and continue to use Big Papa for the example. We want to go into the renting tab for the Thetan Arena page, and then go and find Big Papa here so that we can see just how much Big Papas are being rented out for. And then you want to change this to the cheapest item, because if you want a quick return as far as renting, you want to make sure you're positioning your hero in the right spot, otherwise it's never going to be rented out. I'm going to be using Microsoft Paint here to show you guys a visual example, so it's a little bit easier to understand the calculations. But every single game you win in this game will be giving you 6 THC just for getting the victory. After that, you want to add this to the win bonus that you get with each individual character. If you don't know how to find this, let me just show you guys really quickly. Once you're in game, scroll over to the character that you want to check the win bonus for. So we'll use the Big Papa once again, and I see that it is a 4.032 THC win bonus. So I've switched over to the red pen just to, be a little bit fancier, but the win bonus, as we calculated right there, is actually going to be 4.03 and 2, right? So now we add this up, and this gives us the grand total of THC that we get from winning a game with that Big Papa, and that is some quick maths right there, but 10.032. Now once you've done this, you need to then multiply this number by the amount of games that you want to rent out the individual hero for. We'll multiply this by 50, because this is the amount of games we want to go with, and we get 501.6. So let's move this over here now. You now want to take a new color, right? We got 501.6. So normally you can get a break positive with a 50% win rate, but if you want to be a little bit greedier, you can try to take this number and change it up. I would say try to aim for like 60 even, or 70, or whatever number you want to do. But I feel like the first thing you should do is calculate what the 50% win rate is. And this here, for this specific example, would be 250.8. Where does that leave us in the marketplace? If you get onto the first page, which should be your main goal, if you can, you'll sell faster. But if you feel like this is not a good enough deal for you, especially if you've invested into your character and you put THG into them, then maybe you want to take this here and do a 501.6. What I usually do is then go for a 75% win rate. We get 376.2. So assuming this character I bought would have broken even at the 45, if I bought him at a really good price, then anywhere in between here would be a nice place to sell in order to make money. And now that you know all of the information you want to do, you just go back to your character, hit this, hit rent out, put it at 275 right here. And then there's a cool thing here as well, the question mark, where it says if the person you rent this out to wins 65% of their games, they would get 344 THC. So the beauty of this whole thing is, after you rent out your character, the second that they buy it, you get all of the THC, the full value, all of the rent out price for the THC into your wallet immediately. It's yours. It doesn't matter how they do in their games. If they win every single game, that's good for them. They also get a benefit for doing that. But if they lose every single game, unfortunate for them, you still get your full THC. And there's also a time limit of the renting out. So if I go over to the page where I have all of my rented out heroes, I can actually see how long these will be rented out. Right here it says rented out for 8 days and 22 hours. Whatever the time frame is, if they do not play all of their games during that time phase, you will be getting your hero back, and that is not your fault. And now you're able to get really lucky because you didn't waste any THC games. They paid money for your character, and you still get to keep all of that.